Hello. Welcome back to another lesson on Bible in the Backyard. Hello. We are still talking about parables. We are still in the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Today we'll be in the 20th chapter of Matthew. And we're going to be talking about hired laborers. We're going to be talking about working. Work has been pretty interesting since like March for all of us, with quarantine, and then for me, since I'm a teacher, going into summer, and you're losing your days, and you're losing this, and you're losing that, and you're like, I don't know what's happening anymore. So I'll be very happy when the end of July and August comes back and I can get to work. But there is more work to be done than just going to a job, as we will see in this lesson. Remember, a parable is not just something that Jesus spouted off. It's talking about an earthly message with a heavenly meaning. So Jesus is trying to teach us something. So in Matthew chapter 20, if you've turned there, if you want to turn there, I'm reading. I'm going to read the parable, I'm going to read the story, and then I'll talk about it. It says, in verse 1, it says, "For the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is a householder, which went out early in the morning to hire laborers into his vineyard. And when he had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day, he sent them into his vineyard. And he went out about the third hour, and saw others standing idle in the marketplace, and said unto them, Go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right I will give to you. And they went their way. Again he went out about the 6th and the 9th hour, and did likewise. And about the 11th hour he went out, and found others standing idle, and saith unto them, Why stand ye here all day idle? And they said unto him, Because no man hath hired us. He said unto them, Go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right, that shall ye receive. So when the evening was come, the Lord of the vineyard saith unto his steward, Call the laborers, and give them their hire, beginning from the first unto the last. And when they came that were hired about the 11th hour, they received every man a penny. But when the first came, they supposed that they should have received more, and they likewise received every man a penny. And when they had received it, they murmured against the good man of the house, saying, These last have wrought but 1 hour. They've only worked 1 hour. And thou hast made them equal unto us, which have borne the burden in the heat of the day. But he answered one of them, and said, Friend, I do thee no wrong. Didst thou not agree with me for a penny? Take that as thine, and go thy way. I will give unto this last, even as unto thee. Is it not lawful for me to do what I will with mine own? Is thine eye evil, because I am good? So the last shall be first, and the first last. For many be called, but few chosen." Now, if you read this and you don't get it, I'm going to break it down for you. And we're going to start very, very, very simply. And when I studied this, I studied it and I looked at it at a different way, because whenever I've looked at this before, I've thought about workers in the church. I've always thought about being a worker in the church, and whether that's somebody could be praying in a pew, somebody could just be singing, somebody could be the choir director or the preacher or a deacon. And this time around, I wanted to look at it from a point of view of salvation. I wanted to look at it from a point of view that is different than what I've thought about before. And then it came to me. And so I have my notes and everything here with me, so hopefully I don't get off topic. But let's explain the day. Let's explain how the day is, and it's broken up into different things. So the early morning, let's say 6 a.m. And then the third hour would be 9 a.m. You can see that. The 6th hour is noon, and the 9th hour is 3 p.m., and the 11th hour that it talks about would be 5 p.m. And this penny a day is a wage for the day's work back in that time. But this penny that I'm going to talk about is salvation. This penny that I'm talking about is eternal life with God and what He has done for us. And the laborers, we're going to break this down. The laborers is me, is you, is the person sitting next to you, is the person across the street. And this vineyard that He has us go and work in, or these laborers to work in, is the world. It's the world, it's our community, it's our state, it's our region, it's our backyard, it's in our homes, it's in multiple different scenarios. And the work that He's talking about necessarily doesn't mean backbreaking work in the sunshine. I know some people do that work, and that's fine. Some people are teachers, some people work at desk jobs, some people work with their hands, some people work... I'm not talking about those jobs. I'm talking about the work is us talking and us sitting down people and us bringing people to God and to Christ and to Jesus. Basically in verse 2 it says, when He had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day, He sent them into His vineyard to work. Basically, when He saves us, when He saved me, He sent me to work, regardless of what that was. And that can be at age 7, 8, 9, it can be at age 13, it can be at age 23, it could be at age 77. I've seen that happen. It doesn't necessarily mean that's what you do for it. Like, that's not... When he saves us, when He gives us his love and we accept that, He gives us a job to do. Sometimes it takes us a minute to figure out that job, but He gives us a job to do. And I'm going to kind of skip a couple verses and go down to 7 and 8. And this is after the 11th hour, and He goes and He sees more people, and He's like, why are you still standing here? Why aren't you working? And they said unto Him, because no man hath hired us. He said unto them, go ye also into the vineyard, and whatsoever is right thou shalt receive. So when even was come, the Lord of the vineyard saith unto his steward, call the laborers, and give them their hire, beginning from the last unto the first. What this is that you can start working and serving the Lord at age 77. You can start serving and working for the Lord at age 9. You can start working and serving the Lord at age 30. Like, it doesn't matter what age you are or what skill set you have. There's still work to be done, because God uses people in all different areas of His life, in all different areas of their life. It doesn't have to be on this grand scale of Instagram, or this grand scale of being a preacher, or this grand scale of being a CEO of a company, or this grand scale of a follower, or this or that. And it, in verse 9, it follows up, the reward is the same. The reward is the exact same regardless if you were 7 and saved or 77 and saved. It doesn't matter if you're working in a vineyard, you're working as a fisherman, you're working as a teacher, you're working at a desk job, you're working as a lineman. The reward is the same. The reward is Jesus. The reward, the payment is the exact same. It's eternal life in heaven with Jesus. And then we get to these people who are us again. In verse 10 through 12, this is the perfect example of human nature at its finest, because this is who we are. But when the first came, because the people that were hired and only worked an hour, so when the first people popped up, when they were hired at 6 o'clock in the morning and they worked all day, they thought they deserved more. But when the first came, people that were hired at 6 a.m., they supposed they should receive more, and they likewise received every man a penny. Well, can you think of any instance in your life, because I know I have, or I can, where it's like, excuse me, what? They have more than me? Or they're really getting the same like you're giving them the same chance? And I'm this, or I'm certified, or I'm whatnot. You think that you're better than someone else. Let's get real. You're not. I'm not. We're not. We're all equal. We're all on this equal playing field. And it cracks me up, and it makes me chuckle at myself. Because I've been this way, and whatnot. It says, and they likewise received every man a penny. And when they had received it, they murmured against the good man of the house, saying, these have worked but 1 hour, and thou hast made them equal unto us. How dare you? Which have borne the burden and the heat of the day. Basically, it's, I've worked longer. I've worked my entire life. This isn't fair. Why do they have more than me? Why do they have the same as me? What am I doing, or that they're doing, that I'm not? The fact that I've worked longer, or I've been a Christian longer, or I've believed longer, and these things aren't happening. Or I'm in this position, so I should get this position next. Or this, that, and the other. God puts us all on an equal playing field, and those questions go on. They can be listed for forever. The oh, woe is me, oh, why me, oh, this, oh, that. I've done this backbreaking work, I've built this business, I've done this, I've done that, and this person comes along, and they've done one thing, and they get this. Guess what? The payment's already been made. The payment's already there. The payment's already been made. All you have to do is accept it. He's given you a penny. He's given you the salvation. He just wants us to go to work. And then in verse 13 he says, but he answered one of them and said, friend, I do thee no wrong. Didst thou not agree with me for a penny? And I took this and I wrote these questions down. Did I not promise you life with me in heaven eternally? Did I not already promise you the greatest gift that I could give you? It's undeniable peace. It's peace that surpasses everything that we will go through in life. When we feel like we're drowning, when we feel like the world's turned against us, when something's not right, did he not promise us life with us? Because that's exactly what he's saying. Didst thou not agree with me for a penny? Did I not already promise you what I was going to give you? We had this agreement. God keeps his word. This is my little section of notes that I wrote down. It makes good on his promises to us. He never fails us. We like to make it complicated because we, again, are human. And try to put these bullet points or stipulations on what we think we need or deserve from God. These people, these workers in this story that were hired at 6 a.m., that were hired at 9 a.m., that were hired at noon, whatnot, they think that they deserved more because they worked longer. And God's like, no. This man's like, no. He's like, I've agreed with you already with what I'm going to pay you. In verses 14 through 16, it says, take that as thine and go thy way. I will give unto this last even as unto thee. Is it not lawful for me to do what I will with mine own? Is thine eye evil because I am good? So the last shall be first, and the first last. For many be called, but few chosen. And I think it's absolutely beautiful because it said in my notes and what I took from that passage, those couple verses, it says, Jesus has plenty to go around. Again, the payment's already been made. That penny that he paid for us, that's basically been given to us, that was his life on the cross. And he has plenty of different jobs for us to do, regardless of where we're at in life, regardless if we're 7 and go to school, or we're 17, 18 and we're headed off to college, or that we're in our 20s and 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. There's plenty of us, there's plenty of different things for us to do and for us to work towards. And it could be the smallest thing. It could be the smallest thing, or it could be a big thing that he wants us to do. But yet, his promise still stands and will continue to stand. He will welcome anyone into his arms. And that's the true beauty of it. That really is a true beauty of it. He wants everyone, really, he wants everybody to be his and to work for him. And whatnot. And it's our choice to go and do that. And regardless if we've worked 1 year, or we've worked since we were 13, or we've worked since we were 27 and now we're 50 something, or whatnot, every life that God touches is important and has a purpose, regardless if we know it or not. And I think that's the true beauty of it. God has a purpose for all of us. He has a reason to be in some people's lives, and we don't know it. He has a reason for weaving us together the way that he does for his purpose and for his work and for his love. And we'll know that in time, and we'll be told that when we get to heaven, and we'll even know that within our own lives and how it unfolds. But that's the beauty of his promises, is that he doesn't break them. He doesn't break his promise. And his promise to us, that penny, that one little drop of blood that he's given us, is still true. It's still true to this day, and he will welcome anybody that is willing, to go in and work whole day, half a day, 3 hours a day, or an hour. He's willing to take you in. That is the story of the hired laborers. I almost said hired servants, but that was not what was written in my Bible. Just remember that He's putting us to work all in different capacities and all in different areas of our lives so that His glory can shine, not necessarily ours. See ya.